to the SkyBlocks's Happy Hour. I'm the host. This is episode 2 of the SkyBlocks's Happy Hour, and we have a new visitor to the podcast for episode 2, and that's PlayFan638. PlayFan638, how you feeling today?
Pretty good. If we talk about my ERS career, I currently have one victory. It was pretty Mickey, but a win is a win for sure. When I won that, I immediately celebrated because that was my first ERS win. And I literally jumped in the bed 20 times until my leg broke, saying "Let's go!" And then
Right, back to me is yeah, playing you. I saw you win at Kentucky. You had a blast. I finished second that race, and then I went on to win the championship. So let's go backwards in time. So let's see where it all started playing or playing. Where did it all start for you in the ERS road
in my
racing?
road racing career,
Yep.
I basically first started my road racing career in just Daytona, where people got mad at me because I was new and I did not know how to drive race cars during that time. But a few months later, I genuinely improved. I got good finishes, and then I started racking up a lot of top threes and top fives. And then my first win was in EuroLeague, which was like a year ago or like a few months ago. And then I won a championship in your league. I had a few more wins, and then I started to join some more leagues that you're in. I got some good finishes there, and I won like some races, and then I finally got my second championship, and then I also joined ERS. And then when I saw ERS Chicagoland, it was like I was on an old phone, so I was like, "Oh, this should be pretty hard." So I was like, "Yep, we might not get a good finish today, boys." But then I started to rack up the. I started to gain on people. I was running top five until my device died, and then I was DNF'd. When I charged my phone, I saw my truck was in the death hole and I just couldn't believe it. And then I was like, well, there goes my ERS career. But then after ERS was recreated next season, I started to have. I was like pretty slow throughout through the first stint of the season. But through the season, I started DNF. I mean, not DNFing. I started to get better and not DNF. And I finally got my first win at Kentucky.
Yeah, we did see that, and
And that is
let's
my
let
48th career victory, and I have two titles now.
let's great accomplishment. Is let's go back to Culver's um Advanced Auto Parts Racing Association. It's a long story. Last
Yeah.
season for me, I had a heartbreaker in the 22 Chevy. I had a chance. I got blown out in the championship race. Lost my hopes. Then we move on to this season. Currently, it hasn't been that great. Haven't got many finishes. I'm most likely going to be out of the playoffs this season to have a
I
second
understand.
failure.
That actually happened to me like a few months ago in another league. I don't know what the name was, but it was called like NRRL or something like that. And then what was it again? Oh yeah, I think that's all.
But yeah, it was
And a few more. And then when I made my first start at Culver's IRP, I was running top three and top five for the most of the race. But Bob just came down into me and turned himself into the death wall, and then other people started targeting me, and I got turned into the death wall. So I was like, "Well, I'm done." And then another race, I also had a pretty good car, but I just kept getting pushed around by a lot of people, but even though I did nothing wrong. And I feel like I'm still hated in that league, but I can still run better than most people.
But yeah, it's been a roller coaster for Culver's. You know, I'm looking forward to about earlier today. I was looking forward, and I was talking in general. I was thinking, like if I had the chance to go down to Division 2 in trucks for Traxxas trucks and the 42 Chevy, it would be a blast. It would be a blast of a time. But I mean, I think Division 1 for Culver's is just not it for me. I've just been struggling to find a victory, and hopefully we can do it maybe next season for trucks, and we'll stay tuned on that, everybody. Stay tuned for next season for Advanced Auto Parts League. Stay tuned on that. But anywho, let's go back to a lot of the old school times. You know, I faced a lot of competing drivers back in, you know, around the 2022, 2023. Faced a lot of good people who were really good still today, and some of the people are Jamarcus, Kmart, Roscoe, Ken Miles. He's back in ERS. I just found out, and it's gonna be a blast for him. Well, let's talk about D1 for ERS. About to be a rookie in July. Well, starting July will be the Daytona 500. I'll be streaming that live as soon as the date is published for the live stream for D1. Stay tuned on that. That's gonna be a wild one. That's gonna be a festive ride for my first ERS D1 race. But let's go back to.
Sadly, um, sadly, I did not make it to D1, so I also will be in a D2 truck race, and I will be fighting up some new people and some other people. So stay tuned for that. And
But yeah, let's you know, we've seen some great drivers playing. Name some great drivers you faced in your career of road racing.
Jamarcus, Niall, uh, your brother, Kyle, Chief James, and well, Frosty. He's like I can easily get around him, but it's just hard because he's probably gonna be a roadblock. But Sheen is annoying. Same with Frog Boy. But Max, I don't know, it's a 50-50 for him. And Shark, I don't really know about him, but he finished top 5 in his second start, so that's pretty good for him. And that Ryan guy who had I don't know, that Ryan guy, he also might be a factor next season. And I think that's all the people that's gonna compete with me with eating noodles as well.
Um, so I mean, it's been hitting me. I'm going to the 22 for Division 1. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that in a Pennzoil fire suit, but it is what it is. But some of my other competitors for this upcoming era season, I got some really good names to face. I think it's going to be I don't think Gecko, but I think it will be Rusty, Kyle Chief. Um, there's a lot of other good drivers. There's a ton
So,
of good drivers to talk
like,
about in this conversation.
like for example, like Wiz, James, Zach, and wait, is Zach even gonna race? Yeah, he's gonna race you one. Uh, Jaden, who is probably gonna be easy to get around. Nug and Gavin are definitely gonna be easy for you to get around. Case and I don't know the guy Yurush. I don't know how to say his name. It's also gonna be easy to pass, but people like James, your brother, and Kyle Chief, and I don't know who this M33 M-Star guy is, but he might be pretty hard too, because I've heard he has a few D3 wins in D2.
Yeah, it's gonna be a festival ride for this upcoming season. So for other leagues, kind of like I don't know about Wigna or WGNA. It's kind of questionable for me. I mean, I have the talent to drive those cars, but I don't know if I have enough time to do that quite yet because I'm mostly a block car driver, mostly when I started out. So we'll see about that when I go to Mesh. But stay tuned for that stuff. But Culver's has just been a little struggle. It's just I've just gotten too much hate. I've gotten dumped about a couple days ago, which it sucks, but it's not my fault. It's just people just want to be selfish and just try to get their chip, but it's understandable because I've tried to do that. So, but yeah, it's just has not been fun for Culver's. ERS is a total different story. It's been really fun. I've had 3 wins, 4 poles, about I don't know how many top threes, but I've probably had maybe 10 or 11 podiums, maybe even 12. And I won a championship in that same season. So did my brother. We won the championship in the same season. That was an awesome thing to witness, but stay tuned for more races. But until then, that was episode 2 of the SkyBlocks's Happy Hour. We'll see you guys in the next episode of episode 3. Signing off, Skyblocks166 is out.